Hi, this is al-Hilo, and I'm your instructor in the course of Modernism, a study of arms and a man by Bernard Shaw. And this course is going to be somehow interesting because we will recognize the most important features that gave rise to the European modernism and its philosophical, literary, and uh, other humanities that were affected by modernism. Um, this course is going to be a very introductory course, and it will be uh, somehow a threshold to the concept and the philosophy of modernism, and we are going to study some important features of modernism in Arms and the Man by Bernard Shaw. So, for further readings and further understanding of this philosophy, you should go yourself and find other sources, because this course is targeting only undergraduate students who want to study Arms and the Man. So this is my way. Before I move on into the text directly, I should make some preparations. I should clarify the context of the text, of the literary text, uh, in order to understand what's going on. I should clarify uh, the, the the accompanying political, historical, scientific, and social context that surround the text, in order to have a better understanding of the text. Some people might consider this type of analysis as Marxism or Marxian analysis, literary analysis. Yes, it might be, and I will try to be in my studying or teaching a text. I try to be a pragmatist, a Rortian pragmatist, to make use of the text in order to give my own messages. And my own message is trying to connect these theory with the circumstances, with the chaos that we are living in our country, in my country, Iraq, and in general in the world, the chaos and the disorder that we are experiencing today. So let's move on in our first lecture of the course, and the contributors to the rise of European modernism. First, we should know what contributed, or who contributed to the rise of European modernism. Why I say European modernism? Because modernism differs from country to country, from continent to continent, from culture to culture. As a person from Iraq, I know that the features and the elements of modernism that appeared and rose in Europe is completely and entirely different from that of the Arab culture, of the Arab world. So we cannot say that the exact features and elements and characteristics that the European modernism has, we should find them in Arab modernism. They are completely different because of the difference in culture, ideology, religion, historical and social background, and so on and so forth. So this is only about the European modernism, and it is a big failure, academic and scientific failure, to think that they are the same everywhere in the world. So this is only about the European modernism. So who contributed mostly to the rise of European modernism? There might be many people, many intellectuals, and many scholars who contributed to the rise of modernism in Europe. Uh, First, we should know what is modernism. This definition is from Britannica, and you might not agree with this definition, but this gives a closer idea to what we are talking about. So, modernism in the fine arts is a break with the past and the concurrent search for new forms of expression. So it is a search for new forms of expression in art, in literature, and in all humanities. Okay, and even in fine art. I mean, in other scientific fields, like architecture and engineering. Okay, modernism fostered a period of experimentation in the arts from the late 19th to the mid 20th century, particularly in the years following World War I. In an era characterized by industrialization, rapid social change, and advances in science and the social sciences, like Freudian theory, modernists felt a growing alienation incompatible with Victorian morality, optimism, and convention. New ideas in psychology, philosophy, and political theory kindled a search for new modes of expression. So, as we see that here we have a rapid change, a rapid social change, rapid industrialization, and the process and the effect that it left upon the whole society, and the break from Victorian morality, optimism, and convention in all its aspects, even in religion, in morality, in ethics, in social sciences, psychology, everything. We have a break, a clear and radical break from the tradition. And according to this definition from Britannica, we find out that this philosophy, this movement, started from the late 19th to the mid 20th century. Of course, we cannot say exactly this is the time of the rise of modernism and the end of modernism. Many scholars, like Terry Eagleton, he believes that we do not have the end of modernism. Today, even today, we are living in the era of modernism. We do not have such thing as postmodernism. We are still living in modernism, and we cannot say exactly that it started at the late of 19th century. It might many philosophers, many intellectuals believe that it started from the time of Shakespeare, or even before Shakespeare, from Renaissance, and the humanism that it proposed to the world, to society. But this is a very tough and very rough classification. So this is in general the meaning of modernism. As for the contributors to the rise of European modernism, many scholars and intellectuals participated in one way or another in the formation of European modernism. Yet, there are four figures who had their eternal fingerprints. They are Nicolaus Copernicus, Charles Darwin, Sigmund Freud, and Friedrich Nietzsche. So, these four cornerstones are the people, the figures, the scholars upon which the structure of modernism, of European modernism, was built. They contributed greatly, or they might be the most visible in the structure of modernism, because they are the four cornerstones upon which this structure was built. So, of course, you might add other intellectuals, other thinkers like Kant, like Heidegger, like many other people, philosophers. But these four are considered to be the most famous and the most effective ones. Okay, let's see what did they contribute. Number one, Nicolaus Copernicus. Copernicus, born on 1473 and died at 1543, proposed that the planets have the sun as the fixed point to which their motions are to be referred, that Earth is a planet which, besides orbiting the sun annually, also turns once daily on its own axis, and that very slow long-term changes in the direction of this axis account for the precession of the equinox. Okay, this seems to be very for granted, right? What's so strange about this? Why this is considered to be um, like a great deal? Yeah, today we see it as something for granted, very trivial. But at that time, in the 15th and 16th century, this discovery was like a shock to the society, to the whole world, after we thought, or our ancestors thought, that we are the center of the universe. We are the core of this world, of this existence. We are in the center, and everything in the universe is revolving around us. So, this discovery refuted the common biblical myth that the earth is the center of the universe and it is the best in the universe. This was a biblical myth, and even in maybe in all other religions. I'm not sure about other religions, but this was a very for granted fact among Christians, and maybe even Muslims and other, and even Jews and other Abrahamic religions. I did not found I did not find a very specific verse in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that refers to the fact that, or to the idea that the earth is the center of the world. But the Old Testament presents earth as the gift of God to this universe, as to which God presented his most precious gift, or his most precious creation, that which is Adam, or man. Uh, because we believe, or our ancestors believed, that man is the most perfect creature in this universe. So because God sent, or put his gem in on earth, so this means that earth is the center of the universe. This was a misunderstanding or misconception. But when Copernicus found out that no, this is wrong, we are not the center, the sun is the center in the solar system, and later on we found out that we have other, maybe millions or billions of other galaxies, countless stars in this universe, and they are these galaxies and stars, they are still expanding at this moment, at this very moment, and the universe is still expanding, and we are nothing, literally nothing in this universe. We are not even considered or observed in this universe. We are lost. We might be alone in this dark, vast, gigantic universe. So this discovery was like a shock, that we are not as perfect as we thought to be. This biblical myth was refuted greatly by this discovery, and this was the first shock to man, which finally led to the rise of modernism. This was the first figure. Next, we have Charles Darwin, which might be one of the most significant among these four cornerstones, among these four scholars. Charles Darwin, 1809, and he died at 1882, born in England, whose scientific theory of evolution by natural selection became the foundation of modern evolutionary studies. And a fable country gentleman, Darwin at first shocked religious Victorian society by suggesting that animals and humans shared a common ancestry. Look, again, this is a shock to man in the world. Every man, he saw this as some humiliating discovery to man, to his narcissism. We thought that we are created in the image of God, as it is found in the Old Testament. We thought that we are gods on earth. We are the representatives of God on earth. And finally, we found out that no, we are not from heaven. We share a common ancestry with all other animals. That animals might be at the same level with us. The only thing that differentiates us from other animals is our ability to think and to pass on our experiences to the next generations. Otherwise, other animals might be even better than us in power, in their IQ level, as some scientific discoveries propose, and in their peaceful coexistence with each other. So this discovery by Darwin was like a shock to all people around the world, and this, of course, made man to wake up from his very long sleep, and his living and roaming in his dreams. He was like daydreaming that man or I am the best thing that God created in this universe. So this discovery was like a shock to all people. Next, we have Sigmund Freud, who was born on 1856 and died at 1939, who is an Austrian neurologist and founder of psychoanalysis. His ideas and theories on the unconscious was a shock to the narcissism of man after he thought that he was the representative of God on earth and what he does is inspired by God himself. Freud proved that what man does is motivated and controlled by the unconscious, and he has no free will. Only a set of long forgotten psychological complexes control the decision-making factory of man. Again, here we thought that we are like gods on earth. We are, so powerful that we can control everything. We control the world. We control all the creatures in this world, and so on and so forth. We are the creators. We are gods. We create what we wish. Even especially after the Industrial Revolution, we thought that we are capable of doing anything. We can control everything, until Sigmund Freud proposed his theory of the unconscious, and he proved to us that we cannot even control our ideas, our behavior. So we should not be so, we should not be so proud of ourselves. We cannot control. We cannot control even our ideas and thoughts. So this was again another shock to the society, to people, after which this movement of modernism appeared. And the last one among these four cornerstones is Friedrich Nietzsche, who was born on 1844 and died at 1900. He was a German philosopher whose ideas of the end of traditional morality left a great impact in Europe. He presented the invalidity of classical religious and philosophical morality and tried to incite people to create their own system of ethics. He proposed so many theories, and he confronted religious and traditional philosophical ideas and moralities, and he wanted people to create their own system of ethics and morality. He believed that we are living in a time in which we no longer need those expired ideas of moralities, and that those of Christianity. He believed that we need power, we need to change and to adapt ourselves to the chaos of today's world. So he proposed so many theories, and now I do not have the luxury of explaining all of them, maybe in another lecture. So Friedrich Nietzsche created another shock to the people in Europe and even in the world, and he left his everlasting effect upon the following philosophers and theories. And he was misused by the Nazis in Germany, and they used his theories to commit the most ugly crimes in man's history. So these four people we owe them the rise of modernism. And of course, I said that we have other people who contributed to the rise of modernism. For now, I will stop here, and stay tuned for the coming lectures and with new ideas and concepts about modernism. Thank you. Bye bye.